All right, shalom, y'all. Shalom, Michael Israel coming on here. And what we're talking about today is repression. I got some interesting, I guess you could say, statements or whatever about repression. And repression is, when I say repression, I'm talking about where people really aren't themselves. They put on almost a persona. Let me see if I can find a good definition of repression. And what I found here says is an unconscious defense mechanism where distressing memories, thoughts, or desires are blocked from consciousness or awareness. So when you're not doing, and y'all know I talk about this a lot, where people avoid facing anything uncomfortable outside themselves and inside themselves. And what that ends up causing is it causes spiritual stagnation. You're unable to grow. And what eventually happens, you become conditioned to have a certain response to avoiding discomfort. Well, the word says gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So we're supposed to be doing the exact opposite. We're supposed to be conditioning ourselves to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. If you're not able to do that, you're not going to be able to grow spiritually, because that's where the growth lies at, is facing those, and I'm using analogies and stuff like that, but the growth lies in facing those uncomfortable areas. Okay, those uncomfortable situations, those uncomfortable thoughts, feelings, impulses, just literally standing with them and not getting getting shaken up. And, when you have to face that stuff, it's critical. That there's a key part of growth. And this is why you see a lot of people. It's funny, man. I watch some of these videos these people put out, and this word they use, oppressive, oppression, oppressive. And I watch how they use that word. And inevitably, it is a person who represses things. So naturally, everything is oppressive to them. Okay? Isn't that amazing? And I like, just like, I don't know, ice goes with water or something like that. When somebody practices repression and they repress thoughts, feelings, and emotions down, when they're made to face those thoughts, feelings, and emotions, or they're put in an environment where, you have to face reality, to them, it appears and it feels repressive or oppressive. Oppressive to them. Why? Because they practice repression, stuffing stuff down and not facing it. Okay? I'm going to pull up the definition of oppression. Okay? Because these are the words in these are the words that they use, and you if you listen closely, you can hear it in their speech, and you can discern, hey, they repress uncomfortable thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So what is oppression? Because it's the word that people who repress things, this is what they use when they're made to face the truth. The word oppression, the definition is prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. So to a person who practices repression and stuffing stuff down and not facing things, military basic training would seem oppressive to them. Any type of situation where that requires discipline and accountability to them is regarded as oppressive. Okay? And these are the words they use. Why? Because they haven't sat in the furnace of adversity. They don't know how to sit still in uncomfortable situations. They've made a lifestyle of running from things, of living and existing in their comfort zone. And like I said, I look at a lot of these people, I look at a lot of these videos people are putting out saying, oh, straightways this, straightways that, I seen this and this, all this happened, I felt this way and blah. Look, I'm telling you, listen, when you are in purpose, on purpose with what this word says, and you are locked in righteously on what this word is saying and executing it, it feels like you're moving on air. All the rules, all the environment, the brothers and sisters around you help you move forward even more. In my experience as a head of assembly, the people who the people who are repressive, who repress things, who are not trying to move ahead, because, you know, as you begin to move ahead, it requires discipline. It requires endurance. It requires a lot of soldier traits. Like the word says, endure hardness as a good soldier. This is required if you want to level up spiritually, mentally, economically, physically. These traits are required. You have to be able to endure. And a lot of people who repress and avoid discomfort, to them, an environment where spiritual growth is encouraged, an environment where mental growth is encouraged, an environment where physical growth is encouraged, an environment where economic growth is encouraged, and it's a fruitful environment for that, that environment is going to seem repressive to someone who doesn't have a desire to do that. With that said, y'all, appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Michael Israel. Shalom.